Roll the footage.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is happening, founders? We are back with the Elevate podcast. Excited to be here. I'm one of the co-hosts, Sean Malone, alongside of Marie Mack and Simon Severino. How are you guys both doing today?
I'm doing great. Absolutely
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah,
Excited about the good weather too.
Yeah, the good weather's coming. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be going hiking this weekend? Is that the game
Yes, we got to
plan?
get outside. It is so green. It is so awesome. And we just need to reset some of that winter energy into good outside energy.
Yeah, I love that. Simon, what's a big win for you today, man?
Look, with 3 little kids, my life is more volatile in both directions. In the evening, I'm more tired than ever, and in the morning, I'm more alive than ever. It's funny.
That's amazing. Definitely a win for me. I played in a national qualifier for a disc golf championship. I took second place on Monday, so I'm actually going to be playing in the final in Missouri. So that'll be super exciting for me. That's a personal win. Yeah, and our business is doing good. Also on the last chapter of one of our books that we're going to be publishing soon, which is also a big win for us as well. So a lot of cool things going on. Today's topic is, I think, a juicy one for a lot of founders, and multiple streams of income. What do you do to create multiple streams of income? Simon has been doing this for a long while. He's got some cool stories. He was just sharing one earlier that he said that he spoke with somebody that works in a high net worth bank, and all the clients that come in usually have between like 5 to 7 streams of income. So today we're going to share, if you are a founder just getting started, or maybe you've been on the path for a little bit and you're ready to bring on a second stream or third or fourth or fifth stream of income, that's what today's show is about. So let's dive right into it. First and foremost, Simon, why don't you give us well, actually, Marie, let's go to you first. Why do we need to have multiple streams of income? Let's answer that question first, and then we'll get into it.
I always feel like we don't want to, this is that all the eggs in one basket thing, right? I'm a service provider. I absolutely love, that's where my brilliance is. And that means that I am dependent on a certain amount of clients to bring in revenue. So I always think about putting in an extra stream of revenue just so we have some diversity, right? Like things go kind of crazy in the world. It could go crazy. We had COVID that came that threw everybody for a loop. But people who had multiple streams of income, I bet they weren't feeling quite as volatile as other people.
Yeah, so a little bit of security, safety, financial responsibility, whatever you want to call it. I think that's important. Simon, let's pop over to you. Why don't you share? I know you have a list of a bunch of them, but maybe just start with the first couple here. Like, what would you say are the streams of income worth pursuing, and which ones should you skip?
Yeah, in the Sprint Club, we're working on this. It's 220 people right now, and we are working on this. So most of us have like something like a service, either a software or a service that we do, like a consulting service or coaching service with a kind of a program. And then most have also like a group coaching service, group service where they have cohorts. And so mostly we're optimizing those two things. And probably people listening, they also started with their main program, which is a main service in a consultative fashion. You help people solve some problems and you put in your time. Now you can scale that a little bit. As soon as you have 5 or 10 clients, you can start having like a cohort on top, or a group or a mastermind on top. This is how you start unbundling your time and the value, because this is where you want to go. You want to have assets working for you in addition to you working. The third thing is parts of that can become an extra subscription. So for example, you have a mastermind, but you have an accountability group on top of that. The accountability group can be an extra subscription. It's probably worth something to you to have an additional accountability subgroup where you keep each other accountable. Then number 4 can be licensing IP. This is something people don't realize that it's possible, but if you have a process, you can actually have other people pay to use that, even pay to sell that. It's a bigger topic, takes longer to build and takes some teaching, But licensing, it's a nice way to decouple your knowledge from your time. Now your knowledge can create value for people without you having to put your time in there. So this starts to get interesting. Book royalties is one example of how your knowledge works for you, right? Yes, Sean is writing the book right now. It's a ton of work this month, but in a year, he will just receive royalties from that, and it will be a passive additional asset. Our book is getting also royalties from the Chinese edition and will also get from the Russian edition. So that's really the definition of an asset. I don't even think about it. It just comes every 6 months. There is a royalty check that comes in. Affiliate commissions. This is where you guys rock and where I want to learn from you guys. Affiliates can have so many shapes and forms. I think we should go deep in this session into all forms of affiliate commissions. And Sean has an army of them. Then paid newsletter. So you have a blog, you have content. At some point, you can switch to paid content. So you have a Substack, and then you say, if you want to read the whole article, this is the paid version. So you create the first part just free, but the second part is content, and you can link that again to community and membership as subscriptions. Rent. It's boring, it's dead money, it's not the best thing, but I still like to have some rent coming in a passive way. It's the least exciting, but in terms of diversification, why not? Depends on the location, depends on the overall asset portfolio. Then capital gains, options income, dividend income. This is where the Sprint Club is going crazy right now, because we've started doing options and we realized that it's like a cheat code for life. 3 clicks and if we're making $12,000 a month just from 3 clicks. So that's hilarious, guys, hilarious. It's my hobby now. It will be when I'm an old man, I'm just doing this. It's so cool. And then sponsorships and products on top of that. I think this is a rundown of 13 ways, and now we can dive deeper into the ones that are most relevant.
Okay, so let's back up the wagon for just a second. We'll come back to Marie. I'm gonna ask a question. Like, we just saw 13 different ways to make revenue. Most people seeing that would freak out, get overwhelmed, like want to panic, shut off this podcast, and maybe go like hide in a closet or something. So Marie, how do we relieve all of that stress and overwhelm talking about multiple streams of income? What's the process of the path that someone should follow?
Oh, I love that. So I always think about what's easiest and the quickest win. So some of those, like Simon mentioned, like some of them you have to really think about it. You might have to get legal support, especially with licensing and certifications. That's a bigger project. But there's some things that you can do that doesn't take a lot of time and it creates a really quick win. So I like to take the little bites first. For me, it's about that affiliate income, right? If you have a group of people that you know would really, it would benefit them if you shared something of somebody else's, that's perfect. Like, right, we have flow chat. If I share it with somebody, I get an affiliate commission. It's a super easy sell for me. So that's a stream of revenue. And if I do that 4 or 5 or 6 times, I'm paying for my own subscription. Now I am multiplying my income, because I'm not only am I not paying for my own subscription, but I'm also getting more revenue in. So those are super easy wins to get started. And I think I would just take it on what can you do right now that's the easiest. Another thing that I did like 10 years ago, I used to have a kid blog. When my kids were really little, I would do kid blogger stuff. That's how I got started in operations online. And I created worksheets. Like my kids were doing worksheets. I put those on a site called Teacher Pay Teachers. And those have been bringing in hundreds of dollars, little itty bitty pieces, but been bringing in hundreds of dollars for over 10 years. So something I have not looked at in 10 years is sitting there creating revenue for me. And it's absolutely amazing. So I think there's just little things. I always think about what's fun to do, what's easy to do, and what can you implement quickly to get that momentum going. Then you start to get excited about the capital gains things and maybe actually writing that book and creating bigger partnership things and group coaching programs. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, I love that. I also just want to talk about a little bit of the cadence and the timeline, because I think most people, when they look at like multiple streams of income, they're going to have one of these things that Simon just listed as kind of their bread and butter. My philosophy, and it's always served me extraordinarily well into the hundreds of millions, aim small, miss small, right? So start with one, and whichever one it is, it's going to serve you the best, that you can make some cash flow to pay your bills with. One of my mentors always said, be able to write your or pay your own bills with your own pen. That means you do the work to get the money to pay your own bills. And then after you have a steady flow like that, the cadence, what I look for is like streaks of 3. So if you have 3 months of the revenue, a number that you want to hit doing the one thing that you're good at in terms of like creating cash flow, now it's time to say, okay, I need to carve out a little bit of time in my calendar and figure out, how do I bring on the second stream of income, and then do that one consistently for 3 months, and then bring on the next one, because this will prevent you from burning out. It'll help you to build some systems around it. And it'll also give you a pathway of how you can grow into the right place. Okay, next question, Simon, back over to you. What was the very first stream of income that you built? And if you had to do it all over again with all the knowledge you have now, what would you do different?
So I'm a business coach, so I was just coaching first income stream. And that coaching, funny, one of our clients then told me, hey, Simon, this is a program. And I said, Anthony, what do you mean? What's a program? And he said, Simon, a program is you have a 90-day structure. There are videos, there are instructions, there are tools, there's stuff that I do in between without talking to you guys. Then you have coaches who coach me. So it's not even you that is needed all the time. But I'm moving along. And so he told me that's actually a program. But intuitively, I just started with coaching people, right? And then I gave them some, like Marie, some spreadsheets, some tools, some frameworks, right, that are helpful. This is how you help people. Yeah, you give them some structure, and those became it became a program. So the first one was definitely coaching, and then from coaching to group coaching. That was the next scale, if you want, and then from there the book, which was basically telling people about the learnings, how we overcome the pricing problem, the scaling problem with people. So it was the content from the coaching that became the book. And right now we're at, like this week, we're adding a product. We never had a product. And in the coaching sessions, in the Monday sessions, which is the group coaching, the 200K club, we were asking ourselves, if we do less things, what is it? If you just do a few things every day, what is it? What are your highest impact activities? And everybody wrote down 4 things. And then we were doing it and keeping each other accountable for a few weeks in the Sprint Club. And then they started saying, Simon, can you send it like in a physical form? Do you have it? I want to have it on my desk, physical form rather than digital, because it's more fun to use. And I said, no, I don't, but I can create one. And so we called our designer, hey, can you design it? It should be like a wall calendar. And now my team is uploading that on Amazon as we speak. So next week, that will be our first product. It's a physical calendar, a wall calendar with a mandala where you track your 4 things. And, my kids can use it, clients can use it for habit formation, right?
Yeah.
So this is how from coaching, the other things kind of emerged.
Totally. Marie, can you just talk about, I think because your superpower is in systems and team, I'm thinking like, let's say you're a founder who has got their first stream of income, you're getting the cash flow and that's consistent. And now you're going to like move into taking on a second income stream. From a systems and team perspective, like how and where should someone start?
I think, especially with team, obviously you have to have team members that are doing the work that's paying for their position, right? Like you don't need to have overhead that's coming in.
Right.
So when I brought team members in, I was always making sure that they were working with the clients. Because if unlike Simon, had coaching that I was doing, I wanted them to be working with the clients because they get client income and that team member is paid for. And then, like you said, what can I do with my pen for myself to bring in that second stream of revenue? So I would always think about the team covering some of the tasks that are paid by the clients that are already coming in and already happy. And I would start working on that second stream of income. And then as it builds, I am making income from that. Now I can bring on another team member. Mine is typically in the build out side. I'm great with strategy with people and operations, but I want to make sure I have the right person who's building the structure in the back end, the operational side of things and the automations and making sure all the pages are set up and the copy all converts. Like that's not necessarily my strong suit. So that starts to be a little bit of an overhead space. So I had to have enough income in when I was doing my second stream of revenue. And I also, something that came up while Simon was talking, and you said it as well, is it's like, when you're thinking about a stream of income, you want to think about something that's exciting to you. We're giving you all kinds of different ideas, but these are ideas and you don't have to take any of them. You have to be like, this is exciting. Simon saw a need and created the new thing. I don't know if you guys saw me, but I was like laughing because he's like, I was doing this thing and then I created this next thing because there's a need. And then I heard that there's another thing. So I created that. And these streams of revenue are really exciting to him because he's producing something that his clients are asking for, which is just the thrill of being an entrepreneur, of the creation part of it. So I hope that answers your question.
I love that. And even like bending that into the world of software, like that's the exact way we've built our whole entire tech for the past 4.5 years now, 5 years. We started with an idea. How do you, and again, not to share, but I have to share, Flowchat's based on 3 things. It helps you get infinite leads. It helps you manage people through a pipeline in the DMs to get them to put money in your bank account. And it helps you to track and then use automation and AI. Those are the 3 things that happen. We built that because that was the first thing, the minimum viable product that we needed. And then our clients were like, hey, could you add this? Yeah, that's a great idea. We didn't have a feedback loop. So we needed to create a feedback loop so we could build exactly the way that you were saying, Marie. So what we did is we went to canny.io and we fired up a canny.io board. And this is a really great feature. I know there's other tech that have features like this, where if you're in the community, you can actually say, hey, I wish it would do this. And then that would be posted to the community at large. And then all the other members would see it because they get notified through email or text or whatever. And then if they wanted the same feature, they would just upvote with 1 click. And then the upvotes or the ideas that got the most likes, that get funneled into our build process. This is how we keep Overwhelm down, and we're able to maintain and create even, multiple income streams from ideas from solving an actual real world problem. So if you have that set up where you already have like quite a few clients and you're like, what could I do next? It wouldn't hurt you to do a poll or a survey, send it out to your clients saying, hey, we're thinking about 3 different types of new things that are exciting to us. Which one would be your favorite, or what ideas would you have? You could send a poll out like that and get some feedback from your clients. That's a great way to kind of build stuff. Let's dive into now, I think, Simon, coming back to you. Let's talk about affiliate stuff, because I think like most founders, when they get started, they need a variety or an arsenal of software tools. Most of them do, especially if you're selling in the online space. And one of the easiest transitions to creating the second stream of income is becoming an affiliate yourself. Marie kind of mentioned this. If you're already using tech, that's awesome, because now most of those tech programs have affiliate stuff attached to them. So Simon, talk a little bit about affiliates. Let's go down that rabbit hole for just a minute here.
One of my mentors is Jay Abraham, and Jay Abraham wrote 150 ways of partnering up. And that document, we did that with people over and over again, where they tell us their service, and then we just give them on the spot multiple monetization ideas of who they can team up with and how. There are so many ways to do that. And there are, let's say, more mechanical ways, like Marie's example. I have a link here, use this. And if you have a huge audience, if you're a YouTuber with 6 million people, you put it into the descriptions and it works for you. So this is what Ali Abdal is doing. You have a huge audience. You just offer them a discount code with your link. That already creates revenue for you. I don't have 6 million people on YouTube, so I usually look for organic ways. This is how we came up with the idea of a power hour. We schedule something together that's 45 minutes. And in these 45 minutes, we listen to each other. We ask, hey, right now, who is your ideal client? And what's the one thing that you can do for them? And then we make 3 introductions in that session. So you're now creating 3 introductions to a person that potentially exactly needs this right now to solve a big problem. And then vice versa. So now in one session, we have created 6 referrals, if you want, 3 for each other. This is one way that we are using to do organic affiliate partnerships. The other one is our monthly workshop is an open workshop, and we have 3 partners sending to that with 2 emails. And we send 2 emails about whatever they want to promote. So these are 2 examples of how we are living it right now. But Jay has 150, and he shared them in the Sprint Club, so we could go long on this topic.
I love that. Marie, I will come over to you because you are master of systems and you've played with all the different softwares on the planet that I'm aware of. When you're looking for a software to start recommending to other people, what are the things that kind of catch your eye that say, hey, this would be a good one to actually promote to some people I know?
I like ease of use is almost my first one, right? It has to be something that is intuitive for a newer person. I also like support. So I like a chat feature. I like to be able to message somebody and say, I have a question and I want to get a reply back quickly. If I have to email you and then wait 10 days, like it's over, I'm done.
Yeah.
So there are a couple features that I like, not only for new to business people, but also seasoned people don't necessarily have time to wait on the reply or the support that they need. And then the functionalities have to be something that fit your unique problem. We're in a beautiful world that there are so many different types of options that fit your unique business that you can make that choice. I think a lot about project management tools. I have a myriad of them that I have used in the past. When I talk to clients, there are only 2 that I actually recommend. Because I'm in a space of I want to scale a team. I want to work with that team and I want to make them most efficient. And there are only 2 that I've worked with that make the most sense for my clients. So, and both of those are something that have certain features in it and automations that are a part of it, because we can't scale businesses with manual work anymore. That's just not the thing that we do. So I think about a couple different things, but I always want something to be easy to understand, easy to use, and to have that support that's there. Because if I have a question, I want to get that answered quickly so I can unblock and move forward. So I don't know. What do you look for?
Yeah, so great question. Thanks for asking it, Marie. So you're on more of the practical, tactical, like this is the
I
stuff
am
that I
very
do, because
practical.
that's your
Yes.
brain. And I think also is you've already whipped the money race. And so I think like if you're just a founder that's just getting started and you're like, oh, I got to get cash flow, I got to get cash flow. If as you start to do your service, say you're a coach and then you bring on a project management tool, well, is this a tool I should or shouldn't recommend to someone else? Again, based on the criteria that you laid out, that's for ease of use for you. The other thing that a lot of people think about is like, how much money is this going to make me, or what's going to be the outcome that I get, right? And so it's what's in it for me. It's always that question, what's in it for me? And so like if you're looking at an affiliate program through a software, a couple of things that you want to keep an eye out. Do not go an affiliate market for Amazon.com, because if you do, they'll pay you less than 3% on whatever the purchase price is. They give you no support. There's no messaging. There's no anything. It's just, here's your link. And you have to go through all these hoops to get there, and you get paid peanuts. So this means as a founder, you're going to have to commit a tremendous amount of energy over that wage to get paid peanuts, which is not worth it. So if you're looking for a software to affiliate market, a couple of things that you want to look for is the highest ticket you can find. Because if you have something that's higher ticket, you only need to make a fewer amount of sales to collect a bunch of cash. So our first software product was actually a $10,500 thing. And our affiliates made $5,000 out of that sale. So they only needed to really make one sale a month. And here's the next piece. As a new founder, I don't know how to sell. I don't know what I'm doing, right? So I was always looking for agencies or groups or software platforms that did the sales work for me, so I didn't have to do that. And all I had to do was learn how to recommend and then push them into a system. So when I'm looking for an affiliate marketing, the first thing I always look at is, if I sell one of these, what do I get? Right? So that's the volume. Secondly, is the need there? Is there a big audience that I can actually push this into? And then third, I always look for how the minimum amount of work that I have to do as an affiliate. Say, for an example, Marie's like, hey, meet Joe. In my world, Marie just has to send one email to me with, hey, Sean, meet Joe. Joe, meet Sean. You guys take it from here. And that is a process. And then my team will take that. We will book the call. We do all the sales work. So we'll send the next email. We'll get the call booked on our calendar. We'll have the conversation with Joe. And Marie's not even in the picture at this point until Joe says, here's my credit card, pays our service. And then I send automatically a message gets sent out to Marie. Hey, Marie, thanks for the referral from Joe. You just made hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. And that's really nice to have that, because that's really that mailbox money that everyone's talking about. The old school is you do it in the regular USPS mailbox. Nowadays, mailbox money is when it hits your inbox, so in your email. So I think that's kind of a just something that a couple of things to consider is like, look at the price point that you're recommending, make sure there's a big enough market, and then look for the least amount of work you have to put into a program like that. You can find those three things that match you, so you can still focus on your main thing. You're going to win most every single time. So that's kind of how I would look. Simon, over to you. I know you also do a lot of recommendations and kind of like affiliate good stuff. Do you want to talk about referrals for a minute? Like, how does that work for you?
Yeah, to me, partnerships is, we have kind of 10 levels of partnerships. I don't do affiliate marketing at all. I might start at some point, but right now we do only basically partnerships. They start with email, so 2 emails to each other's list, because this is the easiest thing. Usually there is a JV manager on the other side, there is a JV manager on our side. It's just one conversation. Do we like each other? Is there a fit between the audiences and what they need? And do we strengthen our brand on both sides if we associate, if we promote the other? That's the conversation founder to founder. Then we send an email to our JV managers. They run a first collaboration, which is 2 emails each, to our monthly workshop. After that, there is a debrief. And in that debrief, that's again founder and founder, and we discuss if we want to go deeper based on the resonance from the audiences. If we want to go deeper, the next step is they come into our world, we do a little workshop, they run a workshop in our world, something very practical that solves a problem. Or we go into their world and bring some value to their world. And then there are steps up to step 10, which is embedded offer, where you really, basically that's like a joint venture, like a proper joint venture, like Jay Abraham and I right now. While we are writing the book, that will be a service that both the Abraham Group and Strategy Sprints will offer together. So that's step 10. But there is stuff in between, like writing a book together, or creating a product together, or launching a cohort together.
I just want to pull that out and ask more specifically. So basically, for your partnerships that you do, you've already created kind of this yellow brick road that your partners can follow step by step based on the level of integration and partnership that they want to achieve?
Yes, there is a one-pager with all the 10 options, and then you see how you can gradually intensify the partnership. That's why I call it partnerships, right? It's a multi-year journey together. Starts with 2 emails, but then it goes into like proper intense collaboration.
I like that. And then you have, I would assume, because you're so structured, you have some sort of a vetting process and your partners can only reach certain levels when they perform, right? You have like a performance criteria on that as well.
Yes, because there is a natural limit of the amount of partnership that you can do in a year, you will only select the ones that your audience resonates the most with. That's why the 2 emails is the first thing. From the 2 emails, you know, because you see it, you see the click rate, you see the response rate, you see what people tell you about it. And you see also some monetary stream, right, to each other. And those are the criteria, because with 12 events and 3 of them, that's the number of partnerships that we can have per year, the max number. And so each year, our JV manager and we evaluate, okay, which of those partners do we offer a partnership next year? And that's the natural selection, right? You will pick 30 to 40 of them to go into the next year's partnership. And then we'll do again email plus workshop plus cohort, plus being one module in each other's program, plus writing a book together, plus embedded offer. This is how we gradually, naturally, the things that work best, they will intensify. The ones that don't work well, we just don't do it a second time.
Makes a lot of sense. So valuable. Marie, over to you. Which of your income streams runs on autopilot versus like hands-on effort? And then how'd you get them there? When do you know to like it's good? Like, how do you go through that conversation?
Yeah. So the ones that work the best are the products that are promoted through others. So example of my worksheets, Teacher Pay Teachers is a platform that teachers go to. They can purchase that. Teacher Pay Teachers actually does the promotion for me. So I just have a product there, they promote it, they take their cut, which is fine. But I don't do anything with it now. The other thing that I've found that helps is developing team. The more that I can clone myself, the easier it is for me to bring on more clients and keep the quality of work high. So that's become an additional income stream because I can charge a client a certain rate and I can pay a contractor a certain rate. The rest is there for the business and myself. So I've done that over the last 5 years for most of my businesses is I have trained up somebody that I have felt can do the level of quality work. And I keep a pretty high standard, so it does take some time to do that. But after the momentum gets going, I don't really have to work in that business anymore. And it allows me to go look at other things and additional income streams. So same like you were saying, I have this business, this agency that's running, and now I can use my pen myself and go build something else, something new. And eventually that IP will get up and running and I'll be able to sell it in a certification like we were talking about earlier. Most of my clients have some kind of certification that they're selling, that program that's in a very specific way that people do it. And then they certify others in it. So now they're getting a stream of revenue through those people out there using their system and process. So I really like the service-based model where we're training other people to do high quality work. And then I won't say making money off of that work. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Got it. That totally makes sense. Great answer there. Okay, so that we're gonna run that one into our lightning round. We got 2 questions for lightning round. First, we'll come over to Simon. Was there ever a time in your business when managing multiple streams of income actually hurt your core business?
Hurt my core business? Not yet. I mean, if you neglect your flagship thing and then you spend too much time and spread yourself too thin, maybe. I didn't see that because usually you stay with your cash machine and then you add gradually additional things, right? So yes, in the first days of options trading, I was so excited about it that sometimes I said, hey, I'm spending 3 hours now per day on this thing. Is this really the most important thing? Come on, let's go back to the core things, right? There's the next book, etc. So yeah, maybe if you get too excited, like I can get too excited, then you spend too much time on other things. Then it's good that you ask your team to keep you focused on the most important things. Like every Monday, we tell each other what's the focus of this week. And if somebody tells a focus that's not really a priority, we give them feedback. I say, hey, I don't think that that's the most important thing you should do this week in light of what our clients need. And so you can help each other stay focused.
Yeah, I love that. I'll share just really quickly. Once upon a time we had a software company, and it was doing pretty okay, and our first software company. And then we decided to go and build a challenge because we'd never built a challenge. We wanted to see if that would be a new entry point that was great for our software company. So we ended up spending all kinds, $20,000+ on like getting this thing up and running, and we spent like 3.5 months on it. In the meanwhile, we didn't realize that we didn't have enough big enough staff and system and production to keep that software company going the way that it should have been going. And so for us, that extraordinarily hurt the revenue because the challenge flopped, which was another conversation for another day. And the software had lost, was like the churn was a little bit too high and we weren't doing where we needed to go. And so all of a sudden it was like this cash crunch. So for me, when I was testing and trying to build this challenge thing, my main thing, I took my eye off the ball for a little bit too long. And I'd say that's exactly what Simon said, is if you don't have like eyes and focus and systems on the main thing, that's your main thing, and you try to build this new thing that's a test, like be really careful. Another great example of when people come into my world, they're like, oh, well, I just want to sell this way. And it's a way that's unproven and nobody's actually ever done it before. And they're willing to put all their money and eggs into that basket. And I typically tell them, well, hold on, like, how are you making money now? Let's keep focused there and let's test this over here until we get this to work. And then this will eventually like supersede what's happening. And that's another piece of it. So like keeping an eye on what is the measurement of goal and success for you. For me, I always have this 3-strike policy. It's like, if you do something for 3 months in a row and you hit the outcome, then you can actually, now you either have enough systems to keep going, or you could tell how much work you put into it or whatever, and then you can take on the next thing. So that was one thing that really hurt us, is when we didn't have systemized and team to keep running our main thing. And then the last thing is Maria, I'll just come over to you. Have you ever had something like that happen to you? And if so, how'd you bounce back from it?
Yeah, I've definitely, I'm not necessarily a huge creative type in my business. I'm a systems processes person and I want to make sure that's going really well. But I've had team members and I've had clients that we've worked in the space and they want to try 2 or 3 different things at a time, right? Like they have 4 ideas and they get so excited about all of them. They're like, I can see viability in all of them. And they try to test them all at the same time. And what that does is it puts a strain not only on the team and the system, but then the other flagship, like we're talking about, that might not get the attention. So I've seen it before where we try to test too many things at one time and the resources are like bleeding out really quickly. They might be small, maybe it's not quite as an investment of $20,000, but your time and energy that it takes to maintain 4 different tests at one time is really, really hard to do. So I've seen that happen before too. And our excited creatives, they want to go out there and be like, let's try it all. And we really do need to take it one at a time, move through the test, and then you have the next thing already set, right? Like try that in the next time. I think we always need to be testing something, but you have to make sure that your foundations are really solid because you can't allow that to falter and the team to not be supported or the customers to not be supported or the system to not be supported while you're trying to find that additional stream of revenue.
I love that answer. That's cool. We'll move on to the last question here. Simon, over to you. This one's kind of more of like an ego versus purpose maybe question. Did you ever build a stream of income just to prove something to yourself? And if so, what did it reveal about you?
Great question. Yes, I think ego is a big thing for me. Probably I'm not the only one, but the way it manifests for me is whenever I start something new, that new thing becomes so big, becomes so important. Like I obsess over it for the next like weeks, months sometimes. So from January to March, it was options. I was studying these options books day and night. I had 0 Netflix. My free time was reading another 2 books about options, right? And so it feels so important. And that's probably a moment of ego coming in and say, wow, this is so important. it feels very alive. It energizes me because for the next weeks I'm geeking out, and I love that. And I create the spreadsheet, and the way, maybe one of the ways that I keep ego in check is I do it always in public. So it does not become a self-pleasing exercise. It's always in service of, for example, the options spreadsheet became, so every book I was summarizing and posting in the Sprint Club. The spreadsheet that I use to journal each option, because you have to learn from good decisions, bad decisions, awful decisions. And so you have to journal a lot when you sell options. And that journaling sheet, that spreadsheet, I shared immediately in the Sprint Club. So we are all using the same spreadsheet. I think this is one mechanism how you can keep ego in check, because now it's not about you being so smart. It's actually what's working for you, for everybody. And everybody makes each other smarter. So it's many egos, and that keeps the thing very alive and flowing. And the spreadsheet gets better and better and better. Not necessarily the way you would build it for yourself alone, but it's kind of a collective mind that makes it better.
Yeah, I love that. So building in public is one way to keep the ego in check. Marie, over to you. Did you ever build something just to prove, like a stream of income? Did you ever build a stream of income just to prove to yourself that you could do it? And what did it reveal about you?
Yeah, I've definitely tried a lot of things that I know that I should be good at, if that makes sense. Like I see so many people are so successful on all these different streams of revenue. And I've tried them over and over again, more to prove that I'm worthy of those, maybe. Like it's almost like I want to be that good at what somebody is showing me in their system, in their process. What I've found is that I'm really like nobody else. And that's okay too, because the way that I think and the way that I do things is how I'm going to feel that I'm giving back to the world, that I'm doing good in the world. So I do have kind of an ego check when I'm like, oh, that person made whatever, $100 million on something. Well, maybe I can make $300 million on something. Or, you know, just one-upping, knowing like, well, my systems and processes could probably do it better, or getting a little too much in my head about how good maybe I really am. Every time I do that, I come back to the fact of like, what is my core purpose in my business? And am I really sitting in that when I'm trying to try something new, or when I'm assuming that some other system or process or revenue stream is going to work for me, because I can't be in anybody else's shoes. I have to make everything that I do my very unique own. Now we can learn, just like today, we're sharing all kinds of great ideas, but people need to take those ideas and then mold it to what really fits in their business and who they are. And I think we've said that over and over again. So yeah, it's just a little of an ego hit because I want to do something different, but I can never do something that doesn't work well for my internal needs. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I love it. I think perfection and one-upping somebody who taught you something is definitely in your genes and DNA, which I think is awesome. For me, I think I'm more of the person who just wants to know whether or not I can do it, and do I enjoy doing it. And so there's a lot of times where I've like embarked on a project and I get into it. And this I think happens to a lot of founders, is like they'll get into the project and they'll be like, oh man, this is such a time suck. This is energy killer. The return's not worth it. So I'm quitting. And you've spent hours of time. I think like that could be a whole nother topic for a podcast, is like, when do you quit something? Right. Like that's interesting. But yeah, for me, it's
the quitting
more so,
episode. Let's do it.
yeah, the quitting episode, right? I quit. So I think like just being able to prove it to yourself, there's some worth in that too. So I think that's something that's what I look as well. So that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the Elevate podcast, where we are here to lift founders up to the next level. Don't forget to smash the like button, share this out to somebody who needs this conversation, that needs multiple streams of income. And of course, make sure and drop a comment below so we can keep chatting back and forth. But with that said, next week, do we have a topic for next week, Simon?
The quitting episode.
The quitting
we quit.
episode.
Okay. When to quit, when not to quit.
When to quit, when to not quit. All right. Well, with that said, thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you all. And remember, keep lifting yourself up to that next level and elevate. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.
What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method.